All right, here we go. Yeah, honors class. I'll do the three ninth grade problems at the end. All right, here we go. We got red. Oh, let's get to red. We got red, 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 blue, 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 blue. Okay. So 1 and 2 are red and blue, which means they're supplementary. Oh, I need new tips. This one sucks. Okay. 2 and 3 are across the vertices from each other, so they are congruent, but they're vertical. 4 and 5 are both blues. They're on the inside of the train tracks. There's the train tracks right there. They're on the inside, alternating interior. 1 and 8 are both blues, but they're lefty and righty on the outside of the train tracks, alternating exterior. And we got 4 and 8, which if I take a picture of here and copy it down here, 4 and 8 are the same corner, so they're corresponding corners. Okay, let's keep going. Over here, I've got a red corner, a blue corner, and a green corner. If I add them up together, 54, 36, and 2 x's. And I know in a triangle, if I add everything up, it should equal 180. So I've got my laundry, or baby's laundry and baby's laundry. 36 and 64 is 90, plus 2 x's equals 180. Minus 90, minus 90, 2 x's equal 90. Divide by 2, x equals 45. Okay, over here, estimate. Estimate means I know I'm going to get this wrong. So close, give me a decimal. Okay, I don't know the square root of 29, but I do know the square root of 25, and I do know the square root of 36. And over here, I do know the square root of 49, and I do know the square root of 64. Which means my answers are somewhere between 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. But where? 29 is 4 away from there. It's 7 away from there. Which means it's not right in the middle. It's a little closer to that side. It's not super far. So if the middle is 5.5, and this is probably about 5.3. Over here, how far is it? 5 away from there, 10 away from there. Kind of like 4 and 7, where this number is almost twice as big. So it's not down the middle. It's probably like right in this area somewhere, like 7.3. Okay. Over here, pi, no, forget that, just 3. 6.2, no, just 6. So 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 6 is 2. Is 2 bigger than 3? False. Over here, 3.2, forget that, just 3. 65, no, let's make it 64. 11.9, no, let's make it 12. So the square root of 64 is 8. So this is 3 times 8 is 24. Is 24 divided by 12 less than 1? No, 24 divided by 12 is 2. Is 2 less than 1? No, false. False. All right, this one, 2.7, we'll make it 3. Square root of 8, let's make it 9. I know what I meant to do with this one. Don't worry about the think, I'll do it tomorrow. All right, the square root of 9 is 3, so this is just 3 times 3 is 9. Is 9 bigger than 3? True. So we dumb these down as much as we possibly can. Okay, these ones, remember, I can tell just by looking there. Okay, so A starts right there at -5. Its next one that it hits is right there, so down 1 over 3 to get from the first one to the second one, so y equals -1/3 x minus 5. Let's see, B starts at 0, that's the y-intercept. Its next time it hits a corner is until there, so down 1, down 2, down 3 over 2. Down 3 over 2, so that's the slope. Y equals -3/2 x. You just put the x next to the slope. And we don't have to say plus 0. You should, but it doesn't do anything, so you just leave it out. C starts off at -3, and its next corner is right there, up 1 over 1. If it goes up 1 every single day, we call that up 1. Y equals 1x minus 3. D starts off at 5, and its next dot is right here. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, it doesn't do anything. It's a do nothing. Y equals 0 x's plus 5. So y equals 5. 6, let's see. For these, I'm going to pretend 1 is a normal answer. 1 is a normal answer. So I'm going to pretend the answer is just 1. Let's see. 3x's on this side, 2x's on that side. They're not going to cancel out. I'm not going to color these in. I don't have to do anything. That is the answer. Okay, here we go. 6x's on this side, 6x's on that side. When you have the same amount of x's on both sides of the equation, they're going to cancel each other out. So what am I left with? 0 equals 0. Whenever you have to color in the boxes and say they kill each other, you color in this and say, nope, I was wrong. Okay, 0 equals 0. Does 0 always equal 0? Yes, for infinity solutions. 0 is always equal to 0. All right, this one, I've got no x's on this side. I've got no x's on this side. If they were there, they're canceled out. So I'm admitting this one is not the answer. Now, does 4 equal 3? No, 4 never equals 3. So no solution. This one, 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is plus 6 equals 2x plus 3. I've got 2x's on this side. I've got 2x's on that side. They cancel each other out because they cancel each other out. This is not going to be the right answer. So what am I left with? When there's no letters left in your answer, does 6 equal 3? No, it does not. No solution. So if your letters go away, if you're still going to have x's in your problem, it's always going to be one answer. If your x's go away, it's either going to be no solution or infinity solutions. 7. Let's see. We start off at -1, and we go, so that's where we start, and we go down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3. We always do the future first, then we go back and do the past. There we go. We start off at +3, and we're going to go up $1 every day, up $1 every day, because there's an invisible 1 next to the x. And there we go. Where do these guys hit? They hit right there at -3, 0. So -3 for the x's, 0 for the y's. Does 7 12 satisfy? Let's see, if I make all the x's 7s and all the y's 12s, let's see. 2 times 7 minus 2. 2 times 7 of 2 times 7. And we'll make all the y's equal to 12. 12 plus 3 times 12 minus 2 times 12. If the equation works out, then it works. Let's see. Does 2 times 7 is 14. Does 12 equal 14 minus 2? Yes, it does. This one works out. It satisfies the equation. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 36 equals 17. No, that's not true. Does 14 minus 28 equal 4? No, does not. No, so just A. 9. When you do these, we're going to turn them into a fraction. You start with, here's the ones digit right there. It's where ones start, right? Right on the left side of the decimal. Then when you give every number in a decimal gets a 0. So this would be 37 100ths. The 3 gets a 0, the 4 gets a 0. This would be 34 100ths. The 3 gets a 0, this would be 3/10. But these are repeating decimals, so you do the rain check. Here comes the rain. It hits there, but it gets blocked by the roof, so it doesn't hit these two columns. The rain comes down, hits these two columns, but doesn't hit this column because it's blocked by the roof. The rain comes down, hits this column, but doesn't hit this column because it's blocked by the roof. And the rule is, if the rain hits it, throw it away. In the 37, the rain didn't hit any part of the 37, so we don't have to throw anything away. In the 100, the rain hit the 1, so we throw 1 away, and we get 37 99ths. That's the right answer. Over here, in the 34, the rain hit the 3, so throw away 3, and we get 31. All right, we have 34 things, we throw away 3, now we have 31. In the 100, the rain hit 10, so we minus 10, and now we got 90. 31 90ths is what this is. All right, over here, then the 3, nothing gets hit, so it stays 3. In the 10, a 1 gets hit, so this is 3/9. But 3/9 can actually be reduced 3 times 1, 3 times 3. This is 1/3. Okay, let's see. Number 10, is this a right triangle? Well, if it is a right triangle, then these would, if I turn them into pink numbers, they would add up. Because that's what the Pythagorean theorem says. So 4 is pink number 16, 8 is pink number 64, 10 is pink number is 100. If I add them up, if they add up, it's a right triangle. Let's see, 64 plus 16 is 80. 80 does not equal 100. So this would be a triangle, but it wouldn't be a right triangle. All right, let's try this one. 30, I turn it into pink number. 30 times 30 is 900. 40 times 40 is 1600. 50 times 50 is 2500. Does 900 plus 1600 equal 22,500? And the answer is yes, they do. So this one would be a right triangle. Yes. Let's see, number 11. 3 times 2x is 6x's. 3 times 1 is plus 3. Equals. We have 10x's minus 4x's. That's all my laundry. So let's combine them into one box. 10 minus 4 is, I really have 6x's over here. Plus 3. All right, just like in this segment up here, if you have the same amount of x's on both sides, they're going to cancel each other out. I see 6x's over here. I see 6x's over here. They're going to cancel each other out. So I'm not going to have a normal answer. What am I left with? 3 equals 3. There's no letters in here, so it's either going to be no solution or an infinite solutions, and 3 does equal 3 always. So this is infinite solutions. All right, rational or irrational? If you know all the numbers, it's rational. Let's see. I don't know all the numbers in square root of 7. That goes on forever because it's not a pink number, so irrational. Pi goes on forever randomly, so this is irrational. 16 is a pink number, so those are the only ones we can take the square root of. So I know that, I know that, I know that. We're good. This is rational. 2.7 repeating, 7, 7, 7, 7. I know all the numbers. All of them are 7s. So it's a 2 and a bunch of 7s. Yes, I know all the numbers. This is rational. 0, I know all the numbers. It's just a 0. Yes, rational. 5.232323 ... implies that this pattern keeps going. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. I know all the numbers. They're 2s and 3s. This is rational. All right, here we go. These ones. We start with pirate squares. We start with pirate squares. We start with pirate squares. This one, I just give it some height. This one, I give it some height, and then I divide by 3 and crush the bottom. This one, I go, no, it's not 2D. It's a 3D shape, and that stupid fraction 4/3. So we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. So let's go pi times 5 twice times 9.4. This one is pi times 6.1 twice times 2.5 divided by 3. This one is 4 divided by 3 times pi times not 30, 15. Times 15 3 times. All right, I finally need my calculator on this one. Come on. All right, let's do this one. Pi times 5 twice times 5 times 5 times 9.4 equals 738.27. I'm to the nearest hundredth, which means I can have decimals up to 100. I can have 0.99. So I can have 27, but then I look at the next number, which is a 4, so I don't have to round it up. Okay, 738.27 units cubed. All right, the next one, this is pi times 6.1 twice times 6.1 again times 2.5 divided by 3 equals 97, and we're talking about hundredths, so I can have 0.99 as my highest. I can have 2 digits, 0.41, 0.41, but the next number after the 41 is a 5, so it's actually close to 0.42 units 3D. The next one, I'm going to do 4 divided by 3 times the pi button times 15 times 15 times 15 3 times equals 14,137.16, but the next number is a 6, so 0.17 units 3D. There we go. All right, and this one is a hi, hello. Anywhere I see y, I can replace it with 3x plus 2. So there is a y, and I'm going to replace it with 3x plus 2. Everything else gets repeated the same. 3x minus this little 3 times that equals negative 12. All right, be careful with the Starbucks because we have 3x, and then we have negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. And then we have negative 3 times positive 2. One of them's negative, so all of them are negative. Negative 6 equals negative 12. We have 3x's and negative 9x's. Combine them, we really have negative 6x's. Minus 6 equals negative 12. I'm going to add 6 to move this over to the baby's room. And we get negative 6x's equals the negative 12 versus positive 6. The negatives win by 6. Top versus bottom, the negative 6. Negative kills negative. 6 kills 6. X equals 1. Negative 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. All right, so x's are 1s, but we're not done. 1s come up all the way up here. Y is 3 times, if x's are 1s, then y is 3 times 1 plus 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So our answer is 1 for x's, 5 for y's. All right, number 15. Let's see. On day 0, I had $6. On day 4, I had $9. Good for me. I made $3, but it took me 4 days. If I make $3 in 4 days, I don't even make $1 a day. I make less than $1. I make 3/4 of $1 every day. I make $3 every 4 days. But on day 0, I had $6. If I go to work for $0 days, I should have $0. Why do I have 6? Because I started with 6. On day 2, I had $13. On day 4, I had $23. Good for me. I made $10, but it took me 2 days. So if I make $10 in 2 days, I make $5 every day. Y equals $5 every day. $5 every day. If I make $5 every day on day 2, my bank account should say 2 times 5 is 10. That's how much money I should make after 2 days if I make $5 every day. Why do I have 13? Because I must have started with $3 on my bank account. That's how I have those extra 3. All right, simplify. This means I want the exact right answer, not close, not estimate. Simplify. So I need the biggest pink number that goes into this. Well, 12, the next pink number down is 9. That doesn't go in. The next pink number down is 4. Oh, that does go in. Okay, 4, and it goes in 3 times. The answer for the square root of 4 is 2, so this is 2 root 3. Let's see, 75. The next pink number down is 64. That doesn't go in. The next pink number down is 49. That doesn't go in. The next pink number down is 36. That doesn't go in. The next pink number down is 25. That does go in. Okay, 25 goes into 75 3 times. So this is square root of 25 times the square root of 3. The square root of 25 is 5, so this is 5 root 3. Okay, 17. Where is A? I'm going to go fast through this because I did it in a lot of the classes. A is at negative 6, positive 6. B is at negative 4, positive 6. C is at negative 2, 4. Okay, reflect over the y-axis. The y-axis is right here. One way you can do it is however far away from the mirror you are, that's how far your reflection will be. And just like that, we can see that A is now all the way over here, B is there, and C is there, assuming that was C, or assuming that was C. Okay, do I have to, one trick for the numbers, if Y is the mirror, X gets the reflection, so X is going to get the reflection. This number only gets reflected. Negative 6 turns to positive 6, negative 4 turns to positive 4, negative 2 turns to positive 2, and the other numbers stay the same. Okay, rotate 90 degrees clockwise. We're going to go down from Griffiths down to Stauffer. So every time you rotate and you move a neighborhood, your whole life gets turned around, so you flip the numbers. But then you have to match the neighborhood that you're in. So we're going from Griffiths, where you're good at everything, to Stauffer's neighborhood, where you're good at school but bad at sports, good at school, bad at sports, good at school, bad at sports, good at school, bad at sports. That being said, Stauffer varsity baseball team just beat us 8-0 last night, so I guess can't say they're bad at sports. All right, dilate by scale factor of 1/2. Cut all these numbers in half. Instead of 6 and negative 6, it's 3 and negative 3. Instead of 6 and negative 4, it's 3 and negative 2. Instead of 4 and negative 2, it's 2 and negative 1. And then I find where to, I didn't put those on the map the first time. Okay, 6, negative 6. Let's put that from the last one. 6, negative 6 would be right there. That's where the new A was. B was 6, negative 4. Let's see, C is 4, negative 2. And that's where It rotated 2. Then we cut it in half, and this is where it goes. 3, -3 is where A is. B is at 3, -2. And C is at 2, -1, right there. Like that. Okay, so it got smaller. Now we're going to translate 5 units left and 2 units up. I can do this 2 ways. I can either take each dot and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left and 1, 2 up, and that's where the new C is. That's pretty easy. B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left and 1, 2 up. A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left and 1, 2 up. So that's where it goes. Another way you can do this before you even to know where it goes, if we're moving left, that means my x's are getting smaller by 5. So let's take away 5 from the x's. If we're moving up, we're adding 2 to the y's because the y's are in charge of up and down. So 3 minus 5 is -2. -3 plus 2 is -1. -3 minus 5 is -2. -2 plus 2 is 0. 2 minus 5 is -3. -1 plus 2 is +1. And that's where we ended up. That's where we ended up. Okay. How much bigger? How much bigger is 10 than 2? Well, I can say 10 minus 2 is 8. So when we say how much bigger is something, we're subtracting. So let's go 9.4 times 10 to the 4th minus 3 times 10 to the 3rd. Okay, the problem is one lesson subtraction in Powers rules is can't do it, so we can't combine these. So we have to turn them into normal numbers. Let's start with 9.4 and multiply by 4 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So this is 94,000. Minus 3 times 1, 2, 3. This is 3,000. So 94,000 minus 3,000 is 91,000. Which could be a good enough answer unless they say write your answer in scientific notation. So then you have to put the decimal after the first number. So we have 9.1. We don't have to write zeros. How many times would you have to multiply by 10 to get 9.1 to 91,000? You'd have to multiply by 10 once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And there's both answers. It could either be 91,000 or 9.1 times 10 to the 4th. How many times bigger is 10 than 2? Well, I can divide 10 by 2 and say it's 5 times bigger. So this is the easier one. We are just dividing. When it says how many times bigger, that means dividing. All right, normal numbers, normal division. 4.8 divided by 1.2 equals 4. This one, 10 to the 30th divided by 10 to the 6th. We can combine those two powers with division because one less than division is subtraction. So this is times 10 to the 24th power because 30 minus 6 is 24. All right, down here, speaking of that Powers rules building, right, we have nothing, plus, minus, multiplication, division, powers. All right, we have, if there are two big numbers, if there's a big number in it, you just do what the problem says. 3 times 4, 12. X to the second power times x to the third power. Those are two small numbers. One less than multiplication. We add these to combine them, x to the fifth power. All right, this one, we can combine 3 and 4 and make 7, but the problem is we can't combine x to the first power and x to the third power, two different powers with addition, because one less than addition is nothing. So there's no way to combine these that I know of. All right, over here, 42 divided by 7. Those are big numbers. 42 divided by 7 is 6. Now, can we combine x to the 10th and x to the second with division? Yes, we can. One less than division is subtraction. So 10 minus 2, we can combine that to the x to the 8th power. All right, over here, 2x to the 7th power to the 4th power. So we have the 4th power go with the big 2. There's a big number in there, so we really do 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times another 2 is 16. Now we have x to the 7th power to the 4th power. Those are two small numbers, so that's powers. We do one less than that. That's multiplication. That's x to the 28th. Just 7 times 4 is 28. All right, over here. On the way up, if two boxes are worth 40, one box is worth 20. So if each boxes are worth 20, this thing starts right here at 60. Where does it hit another corner? Not till all the way up here. So it goes up, starts at 60, and it goes up all the way to 120. So it goes up 60. If you start at 60 and go up to 120, you end up 60. But how many days did it take you to make 60 bucks? Well, it took us that long, however long this is. You started at day 0. Now you're at day, well, it looks like boxes are worth 6s because half of 12. 6, 18, 24, 30. So it looks like if you started here and now you're here from day 0 to day 30, that's 30 days. So if you made $60 in 30 days, 60 divided by 30 is 2. You really made $2 every day, and that's your slope. So y equals 2x plus 60. All right, let's see, 21. I'm going to multiply this top one by 2. Why? Because I want these y's to be negative 8y's. Versus the positive 8y's, they're going to die. So 3x's becomes 6x's, negative 12 becomes, negative 6 becomes negative 12, and now I let them battle. 6x's and 4x's is 10x's. Negative 8y's, positive 8y's, dead. Negative 12 and positive 32. The positives win that battle by 20. When I divide by 10, x's are 2's. I'm going to plug this back into what I think is the most simple equation, which is that one. 4x plus 8y's equal 32. 4 times 2, x's are 2. So 4 times 2 plus 8y's equals 32. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 8y's equal 32. I'm going to minus the 8 from both sides. And it looks like 8y's equal 24. I'm going to divide by 8, top versus bottom the 8. And y's are 3's. So this was x's are 2's, y's are 3's. All right, let's see. What percentage of 8th graders, so we're only talking about 8th graders, prefer drama? So we're talking about that one. So 16 of them, but it doesn't say how many, it says what percent. So we need a total. Total is always a certain amount, or percentage is certain divided by total. So let's see, 13 plus 18 plus 16 is 47. So 16 out of the 47 of them like drama. 16 divided by 47 is 0.340. Now, when I move the decimal over twice, that makes me a percent. So this is 34.0%. It says nearest whole number, 0.0. That's easy to round. This is just 34%. All right, is this a function? Yes or no? 2 has a job. 4 has a job. 6 has a job. 8 has a job. We're good. Nobody has 2 jobs. 3 has a job. 5 has a job. 7 has a job. We're good. I don't care what job you have. C, good. 1 job, 1 job, 1 job, 1 job, 1 job, 1 job, 1 job. We're good. D, this guy, whoever he would be, would have 2 jobs. They hit there and there. No. For these ones, there has to be a y, and their power has to be odd. Let's see, this is a power, his power would be 1, that's good. Here's y with a power of 2, that's bad. Here's y with a power of 1, we're good. We are good. Okay, 8th grade, you are done. 9th grade assignment, here we go. The length of a rectangular poster, so we've got a rectangle, okay. The length is 2 more inches than 2 times its width. Okay, let's say this is the width, we'll call it x. The length is 2 more than 2 times the width. So 2 times the width would be 2x, and 2 more inches than that would be 2. So I don't know what the width is, but it's x. I don't know what the length is, but it's 2 times and then 2 more. The area of the poster is 220. Okay, let's do this bad boy. We know that 2x, the length times the width, 2x plus 2 times x equals 220. So x times 2x is 2x to the second power. Plus 2 times x is plus 2x. Let's move the equals 220. Let's move the 220 over. So 2x squared plus 2x minus 220 equals 0. If you can take a 2 out, do it. So let's take a 2 out. 2x squared plus x minus 110 equals 0. All right. Here's how it's going to work. 2, I'm seeing, let's see, a minus here, so they're going to be different. Okay, so x plus and x minus. The plus is going to have to win by 1. So the plus is going to win by 1. So I want 2 numbers that are 1 apart that multiply to 110. So let's just try two numbers that are 1 apart. Let's try, I don't know, 13 and 12. What happens when I multiply 13 and 12? Too big. Let's try 12 and 11. Too big. Let's try 11 and 10. Just perfect. So it's 11 and 10. And I'll show you better ways to figure these numbers out in a second, but it's 11 and 10. So the positives needs to win, so let's make the positives 11. We'll make the negatives 10 equals 0. So for this, for this to be 0, the x would equal negative 11 or positive 10. If we're dealing with the side of a rectangle, you can't have a negative answer, so the x is going to be 10. So that means this side over here is 10. And this side is 2 times 10, which is 20, plus 2, which is 22. Let's see, does 10 times 22 equal 220? It sure does. There's your answers. All right, the length of a rectangular poster, so we have a rectangular poster again, is 9 more inches than half its width. So we got this, and we've got 1/2 its width. Okay, let's see. And let's see. The length of a rectangular poster is 9 more inches than half of its width. The length of a rectangular poster is 9 more inches than half its width. Oh, okay. So the width is x, and we're saying this is 9 more than 1/2 of x. Okay, gotcha. And then together that equals 104. So this is easy. I wonder how I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, x times 9 plus 1/2 x equals 104. Okay, 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 1/2 of x is plus 1/2 of x squared. Okay, equals 104. Let's put the 104 to this side, and we've got 1/2 x squared plus 9x minus 104 equals 0. All right, I didn't notice this when I made the problem. Okay, I'm going to take, this is not normal for both of you, I'm going to take a 1/2 out. So when I take the 1/2 out, this is just x squared. When I take 1/2 out of 9, this would actually be plus 18 x's. When I take the 1/2 out of negative 104, you get minus 208 equals 0. All right, so I took a 1/2 out. When you take a half out of something, you're actually making it bigger, because when I put the half back in, it would get smaller, right? Okay, so I'm looking for two numbers. I've got 1/2. I'm looking for two numbers, x plus and x minus, because I see the minus 208, that are 18 apart, that add up, or that the positive wins by 18, and they multiply to 208. So let's try, I don't know, let's try numbers like, let's try two numbers that are 20 that are 18 apart, like 24 and 6. 24 times 6 is 144. Let's try a bigger one. 26 and 8. 26 times 8 is 208. So there's our two numbers, 26 and 8. We need the positives to win, so x plus 26, x minus 8. For this to equal 0, this would have to be negative 26, or this would have to be positive 8. The only thing that could work in a rectangle is the positive number, so it turns out this was 8. And if you cut 8 in half, that was 4 plus 9. This was 13. So 8 times 13 is 104. Yeah, so it turns out it was 8 times 13 was 104. Okay, tough problem. I wish I would have read that better when I just copied and pasted it in. Genesis is older than Dylan. Their ages are consecutive integers. What that means is if one person is x, the other person is the next. Consecutive means the next one up, so one person is x plus 1, the next one up. Together, they multiply to 110. All right, here we go. Let's go. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is plus x. We'll put equals 110. Let's minus the 110 and get it over on this side. All right, so we have x plus and x minus because I see a minus 110. The plus is going to have to win by 1, so I'm looking for two numbers that are 1 apart that multiply to 110. All right, so I can try, I don't know, 8 and 9, but I know that's 72. So let's try higher. Let's try 10 and 9 is 90. Let's try 11 and 10. 110. So there we go. 11 is the positive, 10 is the negative. But that means x could equal negative 11 or positive 10. How could you be negative 11 years old? So that one doesn't make sense. In this word problem, just 10. So 10 is the younger one. And the next one is x plus 1 is 11. She's the older one, right? Genesis is older, so she's the 11. Genesis is 11. All right, we'll do more than these. I'm not really super happy that I just copied and pasted that one in especially. But at least you see that it's possible. There are ways to get these done. Okay, see you tomorrow. If you didn't finish the 9th, do your best on it. Use this as help for that one. Good luck.